Hey everybody, I'm Jonny Catanzano, and in today's video, I'm gonna help you to solve a lot of your common wrist, forearm, and elbow pain. Let's check it out. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with today's video. Now, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you guys a couple corrective exercise techniques, which are gonna help to address that wrist, forearm, elbow pain that you have when you're picking up dumbbells, when you're doing curls, when you're a long day at work on the computer. I know you guys have it. Sometimes out here outside on the edge of the elbow, maybe sometimes here on the inside of the elbow, maybe here on the top of the forearm, or maybe just when you're bending your wrist, just picking up and moving dumbbells around. It's very, very, very common. Now, what's happening is you've got a lot of muscles that are essentially tight, either from overuse, from poor form, poor range of motion, or doing things like sitting on a computer all day. So what happens is these muscles, when you put them for extended periods in a certain state, so let's say that muscle is either lengthened or it's shortened, over time, that's gonna create some scar tissue, some really tight muscle fascia, and blood, oxygen, and the nutrients that that body and your muscles needs in order to operate properly. It's not gonna be able to get in there. So that's why you have a lot of that common elbow, forearm, and wrist pain. So maybe if you're somebody that sits at a computer all day, so your wrists are always in extension, your fingers are always in extension. Or maybe you're using that mouse a lot, so my shoulder is always in extension. So that's a hotbed for that pain in this area. Now, let me tell you this, is that it actually might not even be just your wrist or just your forearm that's really, really tight. It actually could be your bicep. It could be your tricep. It actually could be your forearm extensions. There's a lot of options it could be, but that's what a lot of people don't understand, is that even though the pain is radiating from right here in your elbow, the pain could actually be originating from a shortened bicep. So again, let me give you an example. If you're somebody that, let's say this is my desk, and I'm always sitting up here like this, so my bicep here is now in a shortened state, okay? So normally it's supposed to be at this length when you're at rest, but it's always in a chronic shortened state. So what happens over time is that bicep is now shortened, so when you go to extend your arm, you feel that pinch, and it really, really hurts. So your bicep and triceps, they insert right here actually at your forearm. They cross over your elbow joint. Crazy, right? So you gotta make sure everything is loose, everything is mobile, and everything is working properly, so you have good proper range of motion and you don't get those little aches and pains. Here's the other thing, is there actually is even rotation involved in your forearm. So not only does your elbow flex front and backwards, but your forearm rotates in that joint as well. So the first thing you need to do is make sure to release the tension, okay? So either using your hands, moving your wrist through its range of motion, using a lacrosse ball, a foam roller, using one of these. I know these are wildly popular right now, and there's a reason. There's a reason you see NFL teams, NBA teams with these on the sidelines. It's because they work. Now, they work when you use them the right way. So if I were to just use that and then head home, well, that pain's more than likely gonna come back within a day or two, okay? That's passive recovery. You need to actively recover the muscle. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna break it up, okay? You're gonna get blood, you're gonna get oxygen, you're gonna release that muscle fascia. It's kind of like the cellophane wrap surrounding the rubber bands, which are your muscles. You gotta get blood, you gotta get oxygen in there, you gotta release the tension. So once you release the tension, then you need to teach the muscles what to do again. What to do, go through that proper range of motion. What job do I have? I don't even remember. I'm in a shortened state all the time, or I'm in a lengthened state all the time. So these are the exercises I'm gonna show you. They're quick, they're easy. You need to do them a lot. This isn't something that you can do once or twice, boom, forearm elbow pain is completely gone. This is something, especially for some of us, tendonitis is chronic. It's gonna take months to go away. And sometimes it's gonna take months of doing this. But if you do this the right way, then you will address the root of the issue. You don't have to wear one of those silly armbands, just put a Band-Aid over it. You're actually gonna fix it. So these are a couple exercises that are very easy to do. You can do them at your gym, just takes a little bit of equipment. If you don't have the equipment, you can make your own. So first, we're gonna go through an eccentric portion. Now the eccentric portion, which is really, really important in rehab, which really helps to re-lengthen and really kind of helps to reset the muscle fascia. So the negative, essentially. So an eccentric portion would be to essentially resist as you're going back down, negative. So on this, you see this device, you always see people, you curl it up like this, okay? So what we want to do is slow it down on the eccentric or the negative. So as it goes back down, okay, we want to slowly resist and go through the full range of motion. You see how my wrist starts in flexion, or I'm sorry, in extension. So that's extension, and then it's going to go all the way down to flexion. And you want to resist it and let those forearm muscles stretch through its full range of motion while you're resisting that weight. That's the first exercise. You can also do it with the dumbbell, and that's why I have this pad here, is you want to support your shoulder and make sure you're not getting your shoulder, your tricep, your deltoid involved. You want to put that shoulder blade back in your socket, slightly let your arm hang over the edge. And what you're going to do is, because you're already kind of dealing with tendinitis or something similar like that, is you actually want to help it. Okay, you want to help it up, and then you're going to control it through the eccentric portion, through the negative, through the full range of motion. So in one time, we're going to go all the way up into extension, and then we're going to resist it, the weight as it goes down, into flexion, full range of motion. You should actually feel it really stretch and kind of pull through in here in the forearm and towards the elbow area. Again, you're going to assist it on the way up, and then you're going to use these muscles to allow it to resist it and stretch all the way down to the full range of motion, okay? So that'll really help with the forearm extensors. Now let's talk, we talked about that rotation of the forearm in your elbow, like when you're doing your curl, supination, pronation. That's as your wrist rotates. Your forearm rotates in your elbow. So there are some muscles that need to be loosened up. So what you can do, shoulder blade locked in your side here. You're gonna have some sort of a band or resistance. You can do this on a pulley, and you're gonna just do an external rotation. So you go palm down, rotate out to palm up, okay? So essentially, you're keeping this locked in place. We're not using trap, we're not using shoulder, we're not using tricep. Okay, what we want to use is these forearm muscles to rotate that forearm inside the elbow joint. So resist on the way back as well. We're not just popping back and forth. We're going to extend and then resist on the way back in. Okay, so those are the couple exercises. Now this is one other one. You may or may not have this. This is again controlling through the eccentric portion, through the stretch. You can find one of these on Amazon, rather cheap. This is gonna be similar to that dumbbell and the weight on the rope exercise we showed you. But what you're gonna do here in this case is you're gonna go again into extension. You're gonna rotate the other way here, okay? And then you turn it over, and when you turn it over, you're gonna have resistance, and then you resist it again through that negative, through that range of motion. So one more time, you're in extension. Like I have pain here right now, I have tightness, because I deal with this sometimes as well. You're gonna rotate the other way, so you're torquing it, so you're twisting away from you. You rotate up. Now I'm slowly resisting and letting it stretch the whole way. So inside my forearm, if you can see inside my forearm, these muscles, the extensors, these tendons, they're all lengthening slowly through the range of motion. I'm resisting it using the muscles, okay? So those are the exercises. You can pick 2 or 3 of them, and I would do them every day for a week to 2 weeks. You should start to see that elbow and forearm pain dissipate. Again, don't forget, you gotta release it too. Lacrosse ball, foam roller, use your hands, one of those percussion guns, something like that. That'll really, really help out to release that initial tension. Then you gotta go in and help to rehab it and teach it what it's supposed to do. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I'm somebody that's actually dealt with this a lot over the years. It usually just comes from overuse. It comes from either, like we talked about, poor range of motion, sitting in a certain position, or overuse. For me, it's usually overuse, but it is something you can get past if you're active with it. Don't be passive, be active with it. Do a little bit every day. You'll be surprised at what you get. I'm Coach Jonny Catanzano here with Six Pack Abs. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and comment below. Any questions at all, leave them for me below. Make sure and hit that notification bell. That way you'll be notified anytime we drop some good knowledge. I really enjoyed this video. I hope you guys learned a little bit. We'll see you next time. Six Pack Abs.